Alrighty. Good afternoon again, Arkansas. This is Assistant Chief Forecaster Cameron back here once again. We're going to give you guys the information going over the potential of the Arctic outbreak coming up as we get towards late next week. We're going to talk about the winter weather potential, and some folks could see some snowflakes coming for Christmas, which would make it a white Christmas. But first and foremost, I do apologize for the first live stream. The computer just decided to just crash. I mean, the entire thing just crashed. The monitors stopped working. The main computer stopped working. So I had to restart the entire software and everything like that. So, I'm back once again. Tell your friends and stuff that I'm back to talk about the winter weather and the cold air. But, anywho, to pick off what I was talking about the last live stream, this is basically maxed out from the Climate Prediction Center going forward for the next 6 to 10 days. And this does include Christmas Day. And we talked about this before the severe weather, that was the legit possibility. Then we couldn't really talk about it too much because we had a severe threat. Once we got past the severe threat, we were going to talk about it more, and this is what we got here. So if you're a fan of cold weather, you're going to love it. If you don't like cold weather, well, only thing I can tell you is to go to California at this point because we've got a lot of cold air coming our way as we get towards this time frame here. Okay, so let's talk about the 8 to 14 day temperature outlook as well. So this is going to be after the Christmas time frame, and the cold air is still going to be lingering around this area here. One thing I want to say is going to be 1 second. Also turn the mic up. Thank you very much. Let's take a look at this comment. This is going to be from Michael, and Michael's one of our friends that lives up in the Dakotas, and he's going to be bringing that cold air down to our way here. So that's going to be around, I would say, late next week into your Christmas time frame and even beyond. But I will say probably the first half of January, we will probably be dealing with a warm up because you can see how the west is starting to get really above. That means ridging is really going to start taking place out there, and that's going to eventually move eastward here. And then temperatures will start to warm up, but that probably won't be until after the first of the year here. So let's go and talk to you guys about the community model guidance here, and then I'm going to answer you guys' questions. Can you guys hear me, by the way? I turned it up. So you guys should be able to hear me now, unless you have to back out of the live stream and stuff like that here, okay? So here's the Canadian model. I'm going to start with this one, then I'm going to start with GFS, and then I'm going to start with the Euro as well. Once this live stream is over, then I'm going to have a live stream for you guys here. But I want to make sure that everybody can hear me now because the microphone's up to its loudest level here, okay? So this is going to be the Canadian model. Now, I want to tell you guys about the upcoming Monday time frame here, that Sunday, Monday time frame. We're going to have to watch it closely. As a matter of fact, let's do this so you guys can get a better perspective on the overall area here, not just here in Arkansas. So there's the cold air that's going to be here. It's going to be kind of chilly over the next 2 days here, guys. And then what's going to happen is we're going to have a storm system come out of the west, and it's going to be a very, very interesting scenario coming up for Monday morning. What's going to happen in terms of the cold air being here? We're going to have the moisture in place and stuff like that. We could see some snowfall. Now, the biggest thing is the Canadian and the European model are really favoring western and northwestern Arkansas. They're not really favoring anyone else in the natural state outside of the GFS. GFS we'll talk about here in just a little bit. But basically what happens is there's going to be a lot of cold air in place Monday morning. And if we get any moisture over that cold air, we could start Monday morning off with some snowflakes, some snow showers being possible. We could see some travel issues as well, depending on what ends up happening with this. And we won't get a better idea on what's going to happen until we get into the weekend. Once we start getting the NAM and all the other model guidance in, we'll take a look at from there. So that's what happens with that. Your storm system, as you can see along the Gulf Coast, there's your cold air in place here, guys. And if we take this out all the way through, there is the Canadian model here. There's your precipitation coming in as you get towards Friday and Saturday of next week. This is around Christmas Eve time frame, by the way. And let's take a look at your temperatures as well. So there's your precipitation, and here's your temperatures. Now, the Canadian has backed off significantly with the cold air shot. Let me double check and make sure this is pretty accurate. Give me 1 second here. There's your cold air shot right there. Okay, so you can see it coming down. By the way, those are daytime highs on Wednesday. So it has it coming through Tuesday to Wednesday versus the Thursday, Friday time frame that the other computer model guidance has. But you can see there's your daytime highs, by the way, teens and in 20s across the area. This is a lot of cold air coming our way as we get towards this late week time frame of next week here, guys. And then you can see by the time we get towards your Thursday and Friday time frame, I mean, there could be a potential that some places may not even get above freezing for a couple of days. Not just, one day or overnight or anything like that. This could drag on for much of late next week and into next weekend. So be prepared for that as well. This shouldn't cause massive issues, but definitely some colder air coming our way as we get towards that time frame. And then there's the Canadian model for Christmas morning. Temperatures in the 20s, could be some teens up there in northern Arkansas, low 30s across southern Arkansas here. So I know everybody here is kind of wondering in terms of the snow. Are we going to see snow and stuff like that? I'm going to get over all the questions just a little bit. I just got to go over all the information first here, okay? So here's the GFS. Now, credit where credit's due with the GFS. The GFS has been the most consistent with that Sunday, Monday time frame here. So let's do this. Let's zoom this right back out to where we had it before. Let's go to the South Central USA. And you can see what happens with this. Okay, so you have a lot of cold air in place. It's going to be a rather chilly next 2 to 3 days across the state. And then we start to slightly warm up on Sunday. I mean, temperatures in the 40s, some low 50s across South Arkansas, and then temperatures fall Sunday night. What happens Sunday night and early Monday morning will depend on what kind of precipitation we're going to be dealing with first thing Monday morning. Right now, this should not be a massive issue across the state. Just be prepared for some snowflakes. Could be some snow showers across the area as we get towards Monday morning. The exact location is still uncertain right now. That's why we don't have a map out or anything like that. But once we get a better idea, I'd say probably Saturday-ish or late Saturday into Sunday, we should have a better idea on what we're going to be looking at here. Now, this is the GFS, by the way, okay? And you can see what it does. Light snow across the area. I would buy the GFS a little bit more versus the Canadian, the other models right now, because what happens is you have a storm system kind of going along the Gulf Coast. You've got moisture being thrown over the cold air, and that's where you have the snowfall potential. Now, the exact amounts, are we going to see any impacts? Who's going to see what for specific cities and counties? We can't answer all those questions right now, obviously, because we're at Thursday and we're talking Sunday and a Monday. So you're still about 84 to 96 hours out. But you can see what ends up happening. And by the way, late Monday morning and into the Monday afternoon time frame, whatever winter precipitation is hanging around will likely switch over to rainfall, primarily in central and south Arkansas. North Arkansas, I'm questioning it because you still have that cold air advection in place, and this warm air advection is not going to be all that strong. You may not even switch over in North Arkansas, but central and south, you should, and I mean should, transition over to rainfall. I have seen cases where that was the forecast and temperatures end up being colder than expected, and you're dealing with a whole different situation. So that's something that we'll have to deal with as we get towards that Sunday, Monday time frame. Take the GFS out a little bit, and you can see your cold air coming in. I mean, you can even see it on your precipitation map. There's just no mistaking about it. You've got an area of low pressure that's going to develop. There's your cold shot coming in. Let's take a look at your temperatures, by the way. And I mean, boy, you talking about some cold air coming south. Take a look up here in Nebraska and in northwestern Kansas. You've got temperatures single digits and into the negatives. Daytime highs, by the way, not lows or wind chills or anything like that. These are straight highs up here in the plains. This is some serious cold air coming southward here, but you can see what it does on the Thursday time frame here. Temperatures in the 30s. Remember, you got moisture in place, and if you go with the GFS, and I want to urge caution with the GFS right now because it's standing by itself, unless the Euro and the other models are kind of throwing the same direction for that Thursday time frame. But the GFS does have that snowfall potential as we get towards your Thursday and the Friday time frame here. If this were to occur, and I mean if right now, because you're a week out, you know what the ball game is when you're dealing with stuff a week out. You know how things can change between now and then. The cold air is a 100% certainty. That is coming. There's no question about the cold air. It's just, can we get a storm system to take advantage of the cold air? But when you being a week out, you see these maps over and over and over again on your social media, everyone talking about the snowfall potential. I want to urge caution that you're a week out, okay? Once we start getting closer, once the details start becoming clear, we'll have a much better idea, and you guys know full well that we will be here. We'll have our stuff out for you guys and all the good stuff. But right now, with it being a week out, you can't take it 100% it's going to happen. That's the biggest thing. The cold air will definitely have. I mean, this is, you can take a look at this, and if you're a weather enthusiast, this is not a good sign. This is a 1051 millibar Arctic ridge coming south. That is some significant cold air coming south with this particular system here, guys. So the cold air will definitely not be a problem at all. You will not have cold air issues with this system at all. Any winter precipitation we get out of this will likely be snow. I'm not expecting a massive ice storm or anything like that. It's going to be primarily snow because you just have so much cold air to work with. It's just getting the moisture here to take advantage of the cold air, and that's what the GFS is trying to do. It has that in place. And let's take this out all the way to Christmas morning, okay? Christmas morning, there could be some snowflakes, some snow flurries across the state with the cold air still in place here. Now, if the GFS were to verify, let's just take a look at the snowfall amounts, and I'm going to get you guys' questions here. We're talking about a good area. Now, keep in mind, this is combining Monday's event and Thursday's event. So let's back this up. All right, let's back this up a little bit. Let's go past Thursday. Should be loading up in a second. Taking its sweet time. All right, now let's take this back a little bit. All right, and this is Monday's event. So Monday's event's pretty light. We're talking half an inch to an inch if the GFS were to verify. Better totals to the north. This is going to help us, by the way, in terms of getting the cold air here. You got a snowpack in Kansas, in western Missouri, up into Iowa, into southeastern Nebraska. That's a good place to put a snowpack if you want that deep Arctic air to come southward here. So that's a good placement for that. But pretty light event Sunday and Monday, right? And then storm system on Thursday. Easily could see 2 to 4 inches of snow if the GFS were to verify. And the thing is with the GFS, all you need is moisture. That's all you need. You're going to have the cold air in place. No matter what happens, you're going to have the cold air. All you need is just the moisture. That's literally it to get this kind of snowfall here. And that's what ends up happening if you were to go with the GFS here. And then I can take a look at the Euro, and then I'm going to answer some questions here. Now, the temperatures. I mean, goodness, I don't think, if anybody that's older than me has seen a December this cold, please let me know. But these are daytime highs, by the way. I want to urge caution with this because a lot of people work outside and stuff like that. Fortunately, this will be late next week into next weekend. With it being Christmas, there's not going to be a lot of people working and stuff like that, so that's fortunate. But I mean, boy, this type of cold air, you don't want to stay outside too long because you've got temperatures. These are daytime highs, by the way, not lows, but daytime highs. Single digits to teens, 20s across the state. And overnight lows, you go with the GFS, single digits to teens. I think this is maybe a little bit underdone. I think if you have clear skies and that snowpack, you can easily see temperatures in the single digits. And even in northern Arkansas, let's go back here to the GFS here to Friday morning. That's what I mean. You can see some negatives up here in northwestern Arkansas. Some real bone-chilling cold air coming our way as we get towards that late next week time frame here. So, Michael, I see you coming up, Vice. If you don't like Dakota snow, don't move to the Dakotas. That's the biggest thing. That's great. All right. So, by the way, up here, they don't panic and grab milk and bread. I know, because you guys are actually prepared for it up there versus down here. So, Dustin, yeah, this is a complete difference between this upcoming Christmas and last Christmas, where we had temperatures in the 70s. I think I can actually pull that up. If you give me 1 second, I can actually pull the temperatures up from last Christmas here and show you guys what the Christmas was last year for us here in Arkansas. But it was a very, very warm Christmas for us here. So I'll be traveling to Little Rock next week for Christmas. It'll be awesome to see some flurries. I think it's going to be a good shot to see some snowfall here in Arkansas. You're going to have the cold air in place no matter what. This is a situation where you have the cold air to back it up. It's just trying to get moisture to take advantage of this cold air is something that we'll have to watch and wait and see what happens here. That's going to be the biggest thing with this. And just for giggles, let's take a look at the the Euro. Let's see what the European model does. Let's take this out a little bit, and you can see what it does for that Sunday time frame here. Now, like I said before, if you go with the Euro in the Canadian model, it only has northwestern Arkansas Monday morning. I don't agree with it. You have southeast winds. You've got moisture coming back into the state. over cold air. I don't agree with it being just northwestern Arkansas. I'd say probably I'd say from Mena to Little Rock to Memphis north on Monday. You might want to watch out for some snow first thing Monday morning for your travel. South Arkansas, we'll wait and see, but I just don't buy it being that limited with the moisture return here. I think you'll have a good shot of seeing some snowfall as you get towards that time frame here. Now, this is the Euro for that Thursday time frame here. It's a glancing blow of snowfall once again, northern Arkansas. But even the Euro, as warm bias as the Euro can be, it is still cold. I mean, these are daytime freaking highs, guys. Look at there, 21 degrees up here in Fayetteville, 52 down there in El Dorado, and this is on Thursday. And then you can take a look at Friday. I mean, Friday's daytime highs, teens across northern Arkansas. You can see some 20s across the area as we get towards Friday if you were to go with the European model. And the Euro is the warmer solution. It's normally the warmer solution across the board. And then first thing Christmas morning, we've got temperatures in the 20s here. So, Taylor, to answer your question, I know a lot of people are kind of tuning in. They're seeing me not talk about specific areas, and then they're leaving. The biggest thing I'm going over right now is you're going to have the cold air in place. This is a significant cold shot coming our way as we get towards late next week. So, if you're planning on doing anything outdoors or anything like that, or if you have to work late next week, prepare for that. Try not to go outside too much. Matter of fact, let's take a look at this. This is going to be the apparent temperature, what actually will feel like. Let's take a look at Friday, okay? These are wind chills. This is concerning. This is how you get wind chill advisories and wind chill warnings and stuff like that. Now, let's see if you get the wind gusts to back it up. And you've got 20-mile-per-hour wind gusts with this. So that means your wind chills will be in the negatives up here. North Arkansas, single digits across the state. So that's what we're getting at here. The cold air is a certainty. If you're going out, if you're planning on doing anything outside late next week, you might want to account for that. Make sure you're good to go in terms of fire and stuff like that as we get towards late next week. It's going to be some significant cold air coming our way. But the winter weather potential, still uncertain. I don't want to say it's not going to happen. You can take a look at the Euro. Let's take a look at the Euro, by the way. By the way, the Euro verifies you're having white Christmas, because whatever falls between Monday and next weekend will not melt. You're talking about temperatures that will stay below freezing all the way until Christmas. So if that happens, you won't have a white Christmas. Even with low amounts, you would still have a white Christmas across the board. So that's going to be the biggest thing that we'll have to wait and see what happens with here, guys. So y'all have any questions, let me know. This is the time to ask and stuff like that. And then over the weekend, we're going to take a look at everything and go from there. And then your forecast is going to come out and everything like that here, okay? So, why does the snow hate actually count? Let me go back here. This is the thing about the snowfall forecast here. You are about a week out right now. So you're trying to figure out, can you get the moisture? The biggest thing for us here in Arkansas, there's always something lacking. Either we have too much cold air, we have too much moisture, we have too much warm air. There's always something lacking here in the natural state, okay? This time around, to get winter weather, you have to have cold air, lift, and moisture. Lift and moisture comes with a storm system. You're going to have the cold air. You don't have to worry about not having any cold air with this system. Let me pull my chair up. You're going to have the cold air in place. That's the biggest thing with this system. You're going to have cold air in place. It's just trying to get the moisture in place with the system is something they're going to watch. Now, I'm going to take a look at the NAM. Take this out all the way through, which it probably is not. It's not going to go out till Monday yet. But let's take a look and see what it's trying to do with that Monday time frame here. So let's go to composite reflectivity, and there it is. There's your moisture beginning to come in. Let's see, go to precipitation time real fast here. So it's got some rain over here in eastern Oklahoma. That will spread eastward into the state. And temperatures, let's see what temperatures look like. There's your temperatures. Temperatures in the 30s across the area, some low 40s. Let's see what your moisture looks like, because there it is. And there's your moisture here, upper teens, low 20s. So basically what's going to happen Monday morning is you're going to have what's called evaporation and cooling. Moisture is going to come in, and that's how you're going to get your snowfall as you get towards Monday. Now, Monday morning, like I mentioned before, if the snowfall does occur, please account for that. It's going to be a nightmare traveling if we get snowfall first thing Monday morning, because it's going to be a lot of people trying to get to work, stuff like that, Christmas shopping and all that. So just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. That's going to be the biggest thing here, okay? So, yeah, that's the biggest thing, Roger. Pipe busting cold. This is some significant cold air coming south as we get towards late next week here, guys. And the biggest thing is, and the one thing that concerns me, is the Canadian model is the warmest out of all of the others. You know, normally the Canadian model is the one that has like the apocalyptic cold air, and it doesn't. That's the biggest thing. It's the GFS and Euro this time. So that's crazy. So this is why I say vacation time to the end of the year. If it's icy, I'm staying home. That's the best thing I can tell you. Love the cold air. Bring it on. And that's the biggest thing, guys. I know a lot of people were talking about, you know, cold air and the winter weather while we were trying to talk about the severe weather. I told you guys once we got past the severe threat, I was going to talk about here. And this won't be the last time you'll see me guys on here as well. I'll be over here during the weekend trying to give you guys updates. No. I did not mean to do that. Okay. Well, anyways. But yeah, that's going to be the biggest thing, guys. I know a lot of people are kind of wondering about, you know, specific cities and counties and stuff like that, trying to figure out we're going to see snowfall and all the other good stuff. We're going to let you guys know about it once we have a better idea. Right now, you've got the GFS. Let's take a look at something. Let's blend everything together. And this is one of my favorite models. I like using this model a lot. This is what we call the NBM, or the National Blend of Models. Basically, this is your GFS, your Euro, your Canadian, all those lovely computer models all into one. And you've got one solution. So let's take a look and see what the good old NBM wants to do with this. Okay, so there's your weekend. Relatively cool, by the way. Temperatures in the 40s, overnight lows in the 20s, typical for this time of the year. And then you can see Monday morning, temperatures in the 30s. Okay, and I want to urge caution as well. Your dew points are going to be in the teens and 20s. So what does that mean? That means any precipitation that's falling is going to drop your temperatures. Don't be shocked Monday morning if you've got temperatures in the 20s with winter weather. So we'll have to wait and see. Monday afternoon, temperatures warm up. I'm putting a question mark on that right now. It just depends, because you've got cloud cover. You do have southeast winds, which will help warm those temperatures up, especially in central and south Arkansas. North Arkansas, I've got a question mark for you guys right now. But anyways, let's take this out. And you can see, this is the NBM. This is the NBM. And if you're a weather enthusiast, you know what the NBM can do. You know how conservative this model is and how it doesn't show the extreme all the time. The NBM has temperatures in the 20s. In the 20s for highs coming up as we get towards Thursday. This is going to be one fun forecast I'm fixing to get ready to make here in the next 10 to 20 minutes here, guys. But take a look at this. These are overnight lows, by the way, and this is the NBM. Temperatures in the single digits up there in northern and northwestern Arkansas. Other temperatures in the teens first thing Friday morning here, guys. So the cold air is definitely going to be there. And by the way, if you go with the NBM, you don't get above freezing until Christmas afternoon. So anything that falls, it's going to stick, and it's going to stick around for a very long time. And now, I'm curious about something. Let's see what it's wanting to do. And there is the NBM's snowfall totals. If the NBM verifies, White Christmas has gone up significantly. I think this year you stand a much higher chance of seeing a White Christmas across the board versus what you've seen over the last couple of years here, guys. So let me see here. So I was actually looking forward to it being warm on Christmas. This is your fault, Michael. This is your fault. You are literally bringing the Arctic Circle to Arkansas. Don't worry. We've got one other storm chaser, Sid. He's doing the same thing. He comes from Minnesota. Y'all are bringing the Arctic Circle down. That's funny. So last year was so depressing. No Christmas joy when it's hot. This year's going to be different. I promise you, it's going to be different. It's going to be a lot colder this year than it has been over the last couple of years. So it's going to feel like Christmas. I'm glad it's going to feel like Christmas this year. We always get sleet, freeze, rain. Now, Peggy, this one is going to be mainly a snow situation because you've got so much cold air. I mean, that warm air is not going to have any shot of making it here in Arkansas. You've got so much cold air in place. This is going to be primary snow. If you see any winter weather over the next 10 days, it's going to be snow. You may run a isolated shot of seeing some ice, especially if you're in South Arkansas. But no, up there in northern, northeastern Arkansas, it's going to be if you see winter weather over the next 10 days, it's going to be a snow event across the board. So, yeah, Justin, I can't agree even more, guys. I don't know about you guys, and let me know in the comments, but I am glad we are not dealing with any more severe weather. I'm glad we're not dealing with any more severe weather. I feel sorry for our folks over there in the southeast that just got through dealing with an outbreak and stuff like that, but I am 100% glad we're not dealing with any more severe weather. I'm ready to start talking about cold air and winter weather and stuff like that. It's December, not March and April. So that's the biggest thing here, okay? Yeah, James, I agree. And like I mentioned before, this is coming in, Thursday, Friday, late next week, that 23rd time frame, that 24th time frame, where everybody's out. No one's in school. Some people, most of the people won't be working or anything like that. Just keep that in mind if you're planning on doing anything outside, or you're planning on going not grocery shopping, Christmas shopping, or anything like that. Just keep that in mind across the board. So that's going to be the biggest question. Here's the thing with this. I know a lot of people are, wanting the snow to happen on Christmas Day. This is how White Christmas works. You either get snowfall on Christmas Day, or you have snow accumulation that is still on the ground, and that technically counts as a White Christmas. Don't be shocked, and I mentioned this a couple of days ago as well. Don't be shocked if you get all your snow before Christmas Day, which is going to be a nightmare for people that are going to be traveling, because you've got everybody and their mothers coming in from Louisiana, Mississippi, all over across the country, coming in for Christmas and stuff like that. It is going to be a nightmare if this happens Thursday and Friday. If it happens on Christmas Day, which I doubt it right now, I think Christmas Day is going to be cold and dry across the board. But the problem is this. Let's take a look at your temperatures. Let's say you get your snowfall on Thursday. Okay, let's say it happens Thursday night, Friday morning, which would be the 22nd, 23rd time frame. Here's your problem. Let's go back here. Okay, so you get snow on Thursday, correct? Remember, temperatures in the 20s. You fall into the teens, single digits, and then daytime highs on that Friday, 20s. Daytime highs that Saturday, 20s, below freezing. By the way, your freezing line is way down in Louisiana. A lot of cold air coming our way. And then you get to Christmas Day, your temperatures are in the 30s, some mid-30s across South Arkansas, but in the 30s. And still in the 20s in North Arkansas. So if you're below freezing, you're not going to melt that snow at all. And it's not going to happen. So that's what would happen. You would get your snow on Thursday. It would carry all the way until Christmas Day. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at this one last time. Okay, so this is going to be your 6 hour snowfall rates here. So what it does, there's your Thursday event, by the way. And let's do this. Let's do 3 hours. Okay, which it just kicked me out of that. So let's go back to 6. Okay, or let's do 12. 12 may show a little bit more. There it is. Alright, so there's your Thursday event. Okay, pretty light event across the board. If you go with the NBM, and that's what I was worried about. Okay, so the NBM were to verify, which is interesting. It would have a White Christmas because it has your snow falling on Christmas Day. That is very interesting for the National Blend of Models here. And like I said, if you're a weather enthusiast, then NBM is always the most conservative. That's the funny thing about this. It's the most conservative here. So Andrew, that's a great question. What will your snow ratios be like? Let's take a look at that real quick. So let's see here. That's going to be I think it's your moisture over it's your relative humidity over your moisture, I believe. So hold on. So your relative humidity, let's take a look at the NBM. Your dew points as well. So your dew points for your Thursday time frame, if you were to get your event on Thursday, goodness gracious, you have some super low dew points. That would be, I would probably say a 10 or a 15 to 1 ratio, Andrew. I'd have to look further because I know there's a calculation that you have to go through to kind of figure out your snow ratios and stuff like that. Thank you for reminding me of that, by the way, so I'll have that for next live stream. But given your dew points being this ridiculously low, it would probably be a 10 to 15 to 1 ratio. And for those that are wondering, by the way, a 10 to 15 ratio is 15 inches of water equals 1 inch of snow, or 10 inches of water equals 1 inch of snow. This is why I was telling you guys, I think a couple of months ago, when I said if we still had that significant drought, even a significant snow event wouldn't break it, because you would need, I believe, at one point we had 8 inches of snow, so you had a 10 to 1 ratio. You would need 80 inches of water, or what would be almost, I think, a foot of snow to get out of that drought or even get to the point where you're neutral. Fortunately, we don't have to worry about that now. We've gotten a lot of rain and stuff like that, so the drought should be coming down. As a matter of fact, I'll have to take a look at the drought monitor in a little bit, but that's what it means. So your snow ratios, if your snow ratios are bigger, then you have that dry, powdery snow. But if your snow ratios are a lot smaller, then hold on, let me reverse that. Andrew, you may want to correct me on this. I think if your ratios are bigger, you have the drier snow. But if your ratios are smaller, you have the wet, big snowflakes across the board. I have to double check and make sure here. Okay, so Nikki, I know that's the biggest thing. Everybody's kind of automatically assuming it's going to be Northern Arkansas. It's going to be a North Arkansas event, stuff like that, and all that. Guys, I want to stress this. We're going to have the cold air in place. If North Arkansas is getting the moisture, then that means the rest of the natural state's getting the moisture. You got to realize how cold this is going to get. I know everybody's like biased to North Arkansas and thinking, oh, it's just going to be a North Arkansas event, nothing major. Look at the cold air you have in place. Any moisture that is interacted with this cold air, it will be a statewide event, no matter where you are, because everybody's below freezing. Everyone's below freezing. It's not just North Arkansas, it's everybody. So if North Arkansas is seeing the moisture, then Central's seeing it. Then South Arkansas is seeing it, because the moisture supply is coming out of the Gulf of Mexico. So that's the biggest thing here, guys. I don't know if everybody's kind of grasping on how cold this air mass is coming in as we get towards late next week here. And I know I'm getting the whole information about, it's a week out, stuff like that, while we're talking about it, because it's going to happen. You've got all that cold air coming south. Cold air is much easier to forecast than winter weather. But the biggest thing is, let's take a look at this. You can see this is Friday's daytime highs. If you're that cold and you have any moisture in place, by the way, let's zoom this out a little bit so you guys get a perspective on the cold air. Okay, let's do this, and then I'm gonna hop off of here and then I'll get your forecast done. Okay, so teens, 20s. This is the 23rd. Yeah, this is the 23rd. Your Friday. Look what your 32 degree line is. Way down here in central Texas and central Louisiana. And there is even some model guidance that has the 32 degree line along the Gulf Coast. That is some brutal cold air coming our way as we get towards late next week here. So, like I said before, I'm not, a lot of people, North Arkansas this, North Arkansas that. If you have that much amount of cold air, it won't be just North Arkansas. It's the matter of getting the moisture here versus the cold air at this point. Cold air is here already. You're just trying to get a system to interact with this here, guys. So, let me see here. Yeah, I can't relate. There goes the electrical bill. Fortunately, I'd say after Christmas, we should start to warm things up a little bit. Let's take a look at this, by the way. So, I like using the NBM because it's a combination of all your model guidance. But, I mean, boy, look at there. That's even after Christmas, and you're still having a hard time getting into the 30s here. So, that was the biggest thing across the board. For those in South Arkansas, Vicky, I saw your question. Let me see if I can go back to it. I don't know where it went off to, but your question, oh, there it is. All right, so will the southern part get on it? That's what I was saying before. If you have the moisture coming into the state, if it's coming into North Arkansas, then Central and South is going to get on it too, because 32 degree line is all the way down into Louisiana here. So we're going to take a look. Let's take a look at GFS one last time. All right, and then we're going to go over here. So the time frame to watch for the potential seeing winter weather, okay? Sunday and a Monday of this upcoming weekend and into early part of next week. So watch that Sunday, Monday time frame. If you're planning on traveling for Christmas, I know we're going to have a lot of people come in this weekend, late weekend, early next week. Watch out for that. Let's go back over to the GFS. I think GFS has got I'm going to use the GFS for this one for now, because I think the GFS has the best hold on the situation, because it doesn't make sense how Northwest Arkansas gets the moisture and we don't. So let's say the GFS were to verify. Okay, Monday morning, watch out for some snow across the board, some snowflakes. By the way, you may have heard some puffers. Don't worry about it. Watch out for some snow across north and central Arkansas. We'll have to wait and see what happens with this. It should transition over, and I'm using should so loosely right now. It should transition over to rainfall by the time we get towards Tuesday morning. If the trend holds, and I'm gonna throw my cards out there tomorrow. But if trends hold tonight with the 0Z data, you'll see a map first thing in the morning regarding the Sunday, Monday time frame, because I know a lot of people are going to be traveling during that point, okay? We get this out of here. By the way, let's take a look at your temperatures real quick. And I know I sound like a broken record with the temperatures, but boy, this is some colder coming our way here. So this is Thursday. And the interesting thing about Thursday is normally when you have a frontal boundary, we've seen this so many times with the last two severe weather threats, where you had a frontal boundary coming in, you got moisture return, and you get rainfall. This particular situation, and Dustin, if you're in this live stream, we talked about this last night, where you had a cold front moving in, but it won't be producing rain showers, it would be producing snow showers because the moisture is coming up over an already in place cold air mass with a deeper cold air mass coming in. So it's very interesting what the GFS is trying to do, and I'll be very interested to see if it actually verifies with this, because basically what would happen is, let's take a look at this, okay? So you would have one shot of cold air coming in Monday to Tuesday, okay? That would put temperatures 30s for highs on Wednesday. This is going to be one fun forecast I'm fixing to get ready to make. But anyways, take this out all the way to Wednesday and then to Thursday morning. Thursday throughout the day, you're in the 20s and 30s. Pre-Arctic front. Your Arctic front is right there, coming into the state. So instead of rain showers in front of the front, you would get snow showers in front of the front, which is funny. It's the most hilarious thing on the planet to see that. But anyways, your Arctic front swings through. I mean, boy, the GFS were to verify. Look at there. -2 up here in Fayetteville, 10 degrees. In Little Rock, 0 degrees. In Mena, which will be 1, but I'd count it 0 because you're right there. Single digits across the state, low teens, some brutal cold air. And I mean, this is for late December time frame. Some brutal cold air coming in. And then this is daytime highs. And this is what a sun, no cloud cover, and you're still in the teens and 20s, guys. This is some serious cold air coming our way as we get towards late next week here, guys. And then you can see what happens with that. So the time frame to watch is going to be Sunday to Monday, Thursday into Friday of next week. Like I said, this is going to be one fun forecast I'm fixing to make. And then we will watch that Christmas time frame. Right now, the GFS is dry for Christmas. The NBM has a white Christmas for us here in Arkansas. Let's take a look at one more thing, and then I'm going to hop off of here for the evening. This is going to be the Euro Ensemble. And I believe the last I saw it, there it is. Okay, so that is Christmas Eve, by the way, that will be snow. Automatically. That's going to be snow because you're going to have cold air in place. And then Christmas Day, cold and dry, and then that's it. Okay, so Euro Ensemble has cold and dry. Now let's take a look at this. This is going to be the GFS Ensemble. Went to the wrong one. I'm going to go over here to the mean. Let's take a look at the mean, and this is going to be your precipitation type. And what does it want to do for Christmas? There it is, white Christmas. So it has a white Christmas for the state if it were to happen across the board. So I will say white Christmas chances have gone up significantly from where they were. I had 30% last night or the night before. It's going to go up over the next, this forecast that's supposed to come up. So if you like a white Christmas, this is going to be your year. This is going to be a year. Now, the biggest thing is, we're going to have it falling, or is it already going to be on the place here? So I'm already stocked up. Crown Apple, Sprite full freezers. Got a propane fuel for a generator. My man Steven is already lined down here. Okay, so it's a snow expected next week, starting Thursday through Christmas, or this coming Monday through next week into Christmas here. So to kind of make it simple, it's going to be multiple events. I should have made that clear, and I do apologize for that. But to put it in perspective, this is going to be Sunday to Monday coming in, and then Tuesday through Thursday of next week should be relatively dry, and then Thursday you're going to get your Arctic blast. Like I mentioned before, a lot of people are not ready for it. It's a lot of cold air coming south. I'm urging that to you guys now, because this is the type of cold air you don't experience in late December. Back in the day you used to, but nowadays you don't. Nowadays this is considered extremely below normal. So anyways, back on subject. So to answer your question, watch out for that Sunday, Monday time frame, Thursday and Friday next week, and then potentially, if we can get a storm system to interact we will have to watch Christmas Day. But travel next week, we'll see. We'll see. Let's see what happens Sunday and Monday, and then we get to Thursday. If we get snow on Thursday, Friday's travel is going to be oof. I would not want to be out of drive at this point. But anyways, let's see here. Bring on the snow. It's time for White Christmas. We are, I believe, well, last time it was 2012. We are 12 years due for a White Christmas here in Arkansas. So let's see what happens with that. 20 years in Oregon. Y'all try to slow down. Don't tailgate. Don't slam your brakes. It's that easy. I know. That's the biggest thing. Now, David, great comment. Great comment. Love that comment. And I see you all the time, by the way, on Dan Scott's live streams, which is funny. So, Northwest Flow with this particular setup, and this is why I'm not discounting snow falling on Christmas Day. If that happens, Northwest Flow systems, to kind of put it in layman's terms for everybody, those systems are a nightmare to forecast. They are a nightmare to forecast. Those Alberta clippers that come out of Canada and interact with the cold air and the moisture in place, they are a nightmare to forecast. So if that were to happen, like David mentioned, models are not going to be your best friend. And I've seen situations where you have the cold air in place. Alberta clipper comes from the north, which is, if you're from Canada, you know what that means. It's basically a clipper system coming from the north. And you have the moisture to interact with it, and that's how you get snowfall. And in some cases, I have seen clipper systems produce upwards to 2 to 3 inches of snow, or even higher in some places. It just depends on the strength, the moisture, and stuff like that. But I agree. I fully agree with your comment, David. That Northwest Flow is a nightmare to mess with. Thanks for indulging us tonight. Sometimes a little hope is all we need. I appreciate that comment, Nikki. Dustin, I agree. Those wind chills are going to be stupid. They are going to be stupid as we get towards late next week, guys. Like I said, this is the cold air that a lot of people are not ready for. This is not your daytime highs in the 30s and 40s and the teens. You know, this is not the cold air we've seen so far this season. This is going to be easily the coldest air that we have seen so far. And I dare say, and if my memory is correct, I dare say probably for the entire year. I don't know that yet. I don't know. I have to go back and look how cold we got earlier in the January, February, March time frame. But I'd say this cold air that's coming in, easily the coldest of the season, could be the coldest we've seen so far this year. I don't know yet, but we shall see across the board here. But that's the extent of the cold air coming in. So yes, drinking hot coffee to it. I'm so ready for it. Nothing better than boiling up when it's cold. I know. And I'm happy for you guys. A lot of people that are getting the White Christmas, the cold air. I didn't want to have to cover severe weather on Christmas Day. I didn't want to have to cover warm air and stuff like that. I was hoping that we would have at least cold air in place for the Christmas time frame here. Snow, we shall see across the board here. Get you some food so you aren't eating your Christmas dinner on Thursday. Actually, you know what? That was funny. There was actually somebody that said that, I think it was Mark. Mark, I think that was you, or it was somebody else that said that. Then they said that they get snow on Thursday, they're going to eat their Christmas dinner and pretend it's a White Christmas that Thursday. That's going to be funny across the board. And Tiffany, that's what I was saying. This should be fine because a lot of people are going to be off work. I'm just concerned about those that are coming into the state, especially from Texas, Louisiana, the Southeast, coming in from New York, coming in from all across the country. I'm just concerned about those folks because you guys know how Arkansas drivers are when it's like a trace of snow on the ground. I don't even want to see I drive first thing Monday morning, guys, if we get snowfall. So that's all I got for you guys right now. I'm glad you guys were able to tune in. This is a wonderful GFS, by the way. Has beautiful snow. By the way, let's just, for giggles, let's take a look at the 12Z and want to see if it continued that trend. And it did. It's been on a solid trend for that Thursday time frame here, and then it gets out of here. And I believe, let me double check something real fast. David, you may be on a good point with this. Let's go over to your 500 millibar varsity mats, and there it is. That's what's going on. It's a darn Northwest Flow system, which means it's going to overperform on Thursday. You know what's going to happen here. This is a Northwest Flow system. It's going to come through. and then that's what's going to be it across the board here. Okay, so ham or turkey for Thanksgiving? I personally take ham, but that's my opinion. If the GFS from earlier in the week had verified for this Monday, I would be celebrating Christmas early. Oh man, I know. And the thing is, it's been trending with that here. It's got that doggone 5 of the vorticity maps coming out from Canada. This is what we mean in Alberta's system, coming out from Canada, Western Canada, coming down into in the area, colder in place, the moisture in place as well. These typically overperform. You know how this is going to go across the area here. So thank you for keeping us updated. Thank you guys for tuning in as well. Let me see here. I think that's it across the area. My money is going to be that this overperforms. Never trust Northwest Flow Systems. Never trust them. Never trust them. I can't tell you how many times we've seen them overperform here in Arkansas. So Santa won't have an issue getting here Christmas. I know last year he was in short pants. This year he's going to be in like 5 different long pants coming in this time frame here. So I think that's it for all the comments, guys. The last time, let me see here. The last time we had a white Christmas was in 2012. The epic December 25th, 2012 storm system that produced a blizzard that everybody remembers. It was a nightmare to forecast, and then it actually verified, and we got a monster storm system across the board. But that was the last time we had a white Christmas here in Arkansas, and that was 12 years ago. So we are 12 years in the date here. So that means that if this happens this year, we won't see another one until 2034 because of how the trends would go. But yeah, so I think that is it. Let me double check, make sure. Yeah, it was 2012. That's the last time we had a white Christmas here. So Megan, to answer your last comment, I can't tell you exactly how much snowfall is going to happen for your specific area and location. I can't do that. You're about a week and 3 days out. So time will tell. The threat of snow is definitely there. That's a given. How much would you be dealing with? Well, we shall see. But I'm going to tell you guys this now. I'm going to tell you now. If any snow falls between Thursday and Christmas Day, it's not going to melt. And be ready for temperatures that are not going to get above freezing, by the way. I'm letting you guys know that right now. Can you write me an excuse for work on Friday? I'll try my best. I'll try my best, guys. So I think that's it, guys. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Y'all have any more questions, let me know in the comments or send us a message. If I don't have another live stream tomorrow, it's going to be over the weekend. I'm going to be paying attention to zeros you guys tonight and seeing if I need to make a map for Sunday and Monday yet. It's a wait and see right now. I want to see what the NAM's going to do. If the NAM backs up the GFS, then we've got something. If it doesn't, then we don't have anything. But that's all I got for you guys right now. We'll continue to keep you guys updated. Like I said before, if y'all have any questions, let me know in the comments or send us a message. And we'll continue to keep you guys updated right here in your source for all things Arkansas weather.